Hey everyone, so today I'm going to be reading some hate comments and I'm going to respond to each one using the power of bass. Because believe it or not, there are some people who have a serious problem with the fact that I'm a bassist who plays solos. Some people believe that since bass has traditionally been the instrument that plays bass lines and supports the rest of the band, this is the way it should always be, and solos should be forbidden. So let's start reading some of the comments and we'll see if I can use bass to respond to them. This fella will never get into a band. He about too much. The art of being a good bass player is not to be noticed until you stop playing. This is a classic hate comment bassists get when we play solos. Because if we're playing a solo, that must obviously mean that we have no idea how to play a standard bass line with the rest of the band. I've actually been in quite a lot of bands over the last 15 years, and pretty much all of them loved it when I played solos. As long as you know when to keep it simple and when to play solos, then everything will be fine. Here's me playing a bass solo. And here's me playing a bass line. So yeah, the fact that someone's playing a bass solo doesn't mean they can't play bass lines. Let's take a look at the next hate comment. Tapping on bass has to be one of the most pointless things ever. Just get a piano already. Idiot. Nice piano work. Do you play bass? I'm so glad I found some of these. Some people say that because I'm tapping on bass, I might as well be playing piano. I actually do play piano too, and I really enjoy it. I just really like the sound of the bass, and something played on piano versus bass tapping sounds completely different. I'll give you an example. Let's take something like Für Elise. Here's how it sounds on piano. And now here's how it sounds on bass. So you can hear there's a very different tone, and I just happen to really like the tone of the bass. It's also really convenient to be able to switch between slap, tap, and fingerstyle rather than running over to a piano every time the tapping section starts. Alright, let's read the next hate comment. If your goal is to play solos, then bass is the wrong instrument for you. I don't know about you, but it kind of sounds like he wants me to play a bass solo! Well, that was fun. Tap subscribe if you want to help spread the power of bass. Bassists are just failed, frustrated guitarists. This is another classic. Anyone who's playing bass must have tried guitar first, not been good enough, and then settled for bass, right? Well, here's a video of me playing guitar. In fact, here's what Samurai Guitarist has to say about whether bass is just a dumbed down version of guitar.
Is bass really just a dumbed down version of guitar? In the early stages, it's definitely easier, but the things that make a bass player great are extremely difficult to master. That initial physical learning curve on bass is significantly easier. After all, you usually just have to play one note instead of full chords. In my opinion, what makes a bassist great is their groove and feel. Of course, this is important for guitar as well, but we have a bit more leniency there. Say I'm playing in a band and the other rhythm guitarist isn't grooving, that's not nearly as terrible as if the bass player is a mess. Feel is an obscure concept, it's something deep down in our musicality. It takes years to shape and isn't easy to practice.
And I pretty much agree with him on all of that, although I will say, once you start getting into the really advanced solos, then bass is pretty much just as hard as guitar, even from a technique as opposed to just feel standpoint. Alright, next hate comment. Nice chops, but can you hold down a groove? The fact that someone's playing something technical doesn't mean they can't hold down a groove. In fact, I think a bass solo doesn't even need to have a groove. For example, here's my version of Victor Wooten's version of Overjoyed. So at the end of the day, I do think that in most popular music, bass sounds great when it's just playing a grooving, solid bass line that locks in with the drummer and supports the rest of the band. And I completely understand bass players who just want to do that and never want to play a solo. But that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with bass solos, and it also definitely doesn't mean that people should be told off and harassed just for playing something technical and flashy or even just melodic. If the music sounds good, it really doesn't matter that much what instrument is playing it. And I think we should all be open to genuine critique, but if you love playing bass in a melodic and soloistic way, then don't let hate comments stop you from doing it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to tap like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video.